Hello, this is Father Michael Nasser from St. Nicholas Orthodox Church here in Grand Rapids, Michigan for this week's Midweek Reflection. And I'm continuing my Wayside Wisdom series where I'm reflecting on different things that I saw written along my pilgrimage in Spain this past summer. Today's, let me set it up by something that happened as I was preparing to make this video. And that was, there was one of these sayings that was in a picture and I couldn't tell what it said. And I thought, well, I can't really tell. I just won't do that one. But then I went back to it and I thought, well, let me zoom in and see. It actually was a really good one. And the reason I'm bringing this up is I almost didn't do it. I almost didn't finish something I started, which was reflecting on that particular saying. And here's the saying. El hombre no progresa si no termina lo que empieza. Translated, man does not progress until he finishes what he begins. Man does not progress until he finishes what he begins. So here I was preparing for this video and almost doing it myself, as I've done many times, as perhaps you do many times, where you start something and you don't finish. Now, it might seem like many of these that are just pure common sense, like, okay, what's the big deal? But I would say these days common sense is not always common anymore. And this is one of those sayings where I think if we really take a little deeper look for a minute, there's a lot of wisdom for every one of us. We are filled these days all around us and sometimes inside of us with all kinds of rates of depression and anxiety. And there's all kinds of reasons for it, but here's one of the reasons that I think we have it, and it's related to this saying, and that is we start a lot of things that we don't finish. We live busy lives, we live complex lives, and so everything that we begin but don't finish, think of it like picking up a rock that you could pick up, carry, and put down. But if you start something you don't finish, it's like picking up that rock, putting it in a backpack, and then walking. So on my pilgrimage, I had my backpack down to 17 pounds, which was about the maximum what people was told you should carry if you're going to carry a backpack for a whole month. One rock could be 30, 40 pounds. And think of how many things in our lives that we have begun, but we haven't finished. And what does that do? It weighs us down. We feel tired, which is where a lot of depression comes from. Not just tired from doing things, tired from not finishing things, tired from carrying weights that we have not even realized that we've been carrying. And then anxiety. How does anxiety relate to this? When we have something that is undone, you may not think you're thinking about it, but the reality is it's in your head, it's in the back of your head, so it's probably in your subconscious somewhere. And it's even worse to have all these things that weigh on us that we don't know what they are because we've stopped keeping track. So, the man that doesn't progress, or man doesn't progress until he finishes what he begins, is really an important thing for all of us. You know, Jesus had some really important things to say about this. One thing he said is, let the days of troubles be enough for the day. And I think so many times that we have troubles, and because they're troubles, sometimes we put it off to the next day. So on the one hand, you want to not deal with every day's problems in one day. On the other hand, you want to take that day's problems, face them, start them, and finish them, and put them behind you. Another thing he said is that he is the vine, and we are the branches, that we're connected to him. And he said, apart from him, we can do nothing. And I think so many times we try to do things, we don't try to do it with him, we don't finish because we're not doing it in him, and we can do nothing without him. And then we wonder why we have all these things that are undone. So I think it's a really important thing for us to think about that man does not progress until we finish what we begin. So I want to challenge you today and every day, think about the things that you have begun, but that perhaps you haven't finished. And that maybe are just been weighing on you, and either finish it by saying, I'm not going to do it, or take a step back and say, you know what, I can face that, I can do it in Christ with the strength he gives me, and we can finish it. I think there is so much happiness awaiting us by finishing what we begin, and it's the kind of life that Christ wants us to live, not all this anxiety and everything else that we bring into life. So, finish what you begin, and that's how you'll progress. I hope you found this helpful, so please share it with your friends via social media or call them and say, hey, there's this cool video I want you to watch. And God willing, we'll see you in next week's video.